January 10th. I'm Amy Corr, and I'm joined live with Kevin Van Eck out of our Goose Island studio. Holy cow, 2023. I think I just blinked my eyes and a new year appeared, but we are really excited to be back with all of you this morning, so make sure to grab your warm cup of coffee. You're going to need it this year, and let's jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
That's right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us as we kick off 2023. So, as you know, whether it was an email you read from Amy or the videos that you've seen, Amy talked about getting the nerves out. So as we begin January in 2023, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's look at what's happened over the last 4 years and just title the years, because there's a point to this, trust me. So number one, in 2020, what was it? It was the year of the pandemic. 2020, let's do this again with the years. 2020 was the year of the pandemic. 2021 was what? Record-breaking. It was a crazy year for most of us.
Real estate.
Wild.
That's right.
Yeah, hot topic.
Who wasn't busy?
Flying off the shelves. And then 2022, it kicked off with a bang, and then we know what happened towards the end of the year. And here we are in 2023. So let's label this year, what are we going to do it? The year of you.
The year of me?
You.
The year of Amy.
The year of Amy. That's what we're going to do. So if we're going to make it the year of you, you need to make it the year of you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk through some things from business planning that we did in the fall, 3 things in fact, in how you can make 2023 the year of you.
That's right. I am so excited for this theme of the year of you. It's about thinking about what do you really want? What really matters to you personally and professionally? And as Kevin had mentioned, when we were doing business planning in the fall, one of the things we talked about was what was going to make someone successful in 2023. And the first thing that we talked about was making your own headlines. Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to talk about this again, but in 2022 and even going into 2023, I'm seeing lots of headlines that are not necessarily positive about the economy, about real estate. And I know that you're reading them, but if we're all reading them, guess who else is reading them right now too? Your clients, your sphere of influence. So what we want you to start thinking about as you move into 2023 is what are the headlines that you're going to make? And when I say the headlines you're going to make, what is your mantra? What are you going to articulate? When people ask you about real estate, about the market, what are those headlines that you're going to put out there? Because what you put out sets the tone for your success and how you're going to operate with your clients and the people that you know. And I'm going to push and encourage you to recognize that even if there's a lot of negativity out there in a lot of the headlines that we're reading, there's a lot of opportunity as we move into 2023. There's a lot of great opportunity for buyers and sellers and for you to be really successful. So I want you to think about what your headlines are going to be. If you've got a piece of paper, I want you to start jotting them down and start thinking about what is it that you're going to be putting out into the universe to make this an amazing year.
Yeah, huge opportunity. Also, this past weekend on social, I saw a lot of people out working on appointments with buyers, listing presentations, talking about their business. There's huge opportunity out there. So let's talk about number 2, clarity. Clarity is really important in a couple of ways. Number 1, being clear, and I'm going to take this in maybe a little bit further than what you've heard before. In terms of clarity in terms of your goals. So first, Amy mentioned personal goals. Getting really clear on what you want for yourself and what you want that headline to be in 2023. So is it getting your financial house in order? Is it making sure that your familial relationships are set? Spending more time with your family, spending more time with your kids, doing things where you can spend time together. What are the personal things that you want to make sure that are clear, and just focus on a few? Because in order to be clear about the goals, we can't focus on 10 different things. More on that in a second. The professional goals, similarly, what do you want to do in 2023? And where do you want to go, let's call it the end of 2023, this time in 2024, where do you want to have gone? So be very clear. Pick 1, 2, or 3 things that you want to hit and goals you want to have, and be very clear about it and make sure they're your goals you want to hit. And then lastly, and this is the big one, clarity when it comes to the actions to get to those goals, whether it's personal or professional. And this is huge. This is really funny. So we've talked about the broke agent. You probably follow it on Instagram. Doesn't matter. I'm going to pop it up here. There was a post where it says agents will spend 6 months getting a podcast studio together, but not make a single call. So when we talk about your goals, Think about it. How many wild, far-fetched, crazy ideas do you have in your head right now in 2023? What is the craziest thing you're going to do? Stop it. Because it's probably not going to generate business. What are the actions you need to do to hit those goals specifically? Because everything we do either takes us closer to our goals or moves us further away. So where do you spend your time? Be very clear with yourself about how you're going to spend your time in 2023 so that you can hit your goals.
Yeah, gosh, I absolutely love that. And I'm just laughing because I still am, and I probably was one of those agents. Like you have this crazy idea of, I'm just going to do this amazing, super complicated thing. It's going to take all my time and energy. When I could just call 10 people that know, like, and love me, and I probably could have a listing appointment, right?
Totally.
So we've all been there. We've all done that. It's in our DNA, I think, as a real estate agent. But I love that. And so number 3, the last one that I really want us to think about, and this again comes back to, being the year of you, which is invest in your greatest asset. All right, and I told this joke all the time in business planning when we talked about it, but I'll give you a hint on what that greatest asset is. They picked out your outfit today, and they're sitting right next to you. That's right, it's you. But just making sure that you take time to invest in yourself. Because, one of the greatest things that somebody had told me when I was going through a tough time is to remember to put your oxygen mask on first, right? Because if you aren't healthy, if you aren't whole, if you don't fill yourself up first, then you cannot be there for your family. You cannot be there for your clients. And not only can't you not be there, you kind of don't want to be there, right? Because you don't have the energy, you don't have the interest. So one of the really big things to think about right now as we're starting, January 2023 is, what do you want? What matters to you? What's going to make you feel whole? Invest in yourself and your time so that, again, you make yourself available to everybody else. And, Kevin and I were off camera sort of joking about what our words are for the year. I always like to pick words. Yeah. And I'll share mine. But, my first is present. I struggle, and I'm sure many of you do, with oftentimes being present. And I will say, at work, yes, but a lot of times at home. We all have the phone gadget. My kids have it too. But I'm really working on teaching them how to be present, because I find that sometimes I get mad at them for not being present for me. And then they say, well, you're the first one to pick up your phone. So just sort of really trying to be present in the moment. I know it'll be really hard for me to do, but that's my goal. That's one of the things I want to do for myself as my greatest asset. And then the other word that came to me this year is joy. Not that my past years haven't been joyful, but I think sometimes we tend to always remember or focus on the negative or harder things that come in life. And sometimes I just want to remember the word joy, so that, just joy in the small things, like being able to ride for an hour with Molly and hear about her day and all the silly stuff that's happening in high school, recognizing how much joy that brings to me. So those are my 2 words. Those are the 2 things that I want to use for myself as I fill my bucket up so that I can be the greatest asset to bring to others.
I love that.
Yeah. Are you going to share yours,
Thank you for sharing.
Kevin?
I think I'm going to share mine next week. We'll split it up.
He's working on his.
I'll share mine. I'm working on mine. Still fine-tuning mine. I have an idea on where I'm going, but I'm not ready to share yet. So that means
I totally
suspense.
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, wait for next episode. I know everyone's waiting on the edge of their seats, but I'll share next week. But for now, thank you for joining us. These 3 ways that you can make sure that you get to where you want to go in 2023 and create success. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today, and until then,
you got this.